I was just a shepherd when God called me, tending sheep in the wilderness, a far cry from the palaces of Egypt, where I once lived. The fire of the burning bush still burns in my memory, a flame that did not consume but ignited something within me. Moses, he said, I have seen the misery of my people. I will deliver them, and you will lead them. Me, a stammering fugitive, wanted for murder, chosen to confront Pharaoh? It seemed impossible, but I obeyed. With my brother Aaron at my side, we stood before Pharaoh, the man who once called me brother. Let my people go, I declared, trembling but resolute. Pharaoh laughed, his heart as hard as the stone idols he worshipped. The Lord sent plagues, blood, frogs, darkness, death, each one striking at the gods of Egypt. The Nile, their lifeblood, turned red as judgment. Frogs leapt from the river, mocking their fertility goddess. The darkness was so thick it swallowed their sun god, Ra. Pharaoh wavered, but refused to yield, and his stubbornness cost him dearly. On the night of the Passover, the cries of Egypt pierced the heavens as the firstborn of every household lay dead. Only those who trusted the blood of the Lamb, painted on their doorframes, were spared. It was not just Egypt that was judged, it was faith that was tested. When Pharaoh finally relented, we left in haste, a nation of slaves walking into freedom. But freedom comes with fear. At the edge of the Red Sea, we heard the thunder of Pharaoh's chariots. The people cried out in panic, accusing me of leading them to death. I raised my staff, my heart pounding. The sea split open, walls of water towering on each side. We crossed on dry ground, and when the Egyptians pursued, the waters crashed down, drowning our enemies. We sang on the other side, but the wilderness awaited. Freedom wasn't instant. It required trust, perseverance, and faith. The manna from heaven, water from the rock, and the giving of the law at Mount Sinai, all these were signs that God had not just delivered us, but was shaping us into his people. Today our story echoes. How many are enslaved not by Pharaoh, but by fear, sin, and the idols of modern life? The gods of power, wealth, and self still demand allegiance, leaving hearts as hard as Pharaoh's. Yet the message of the Exodus remains. God sees, God hears, and God acts. He calls us to leave our chains, to trust him as he leads us through the wilderness of life. The blood of the Lamb that saved us on Passover foreshadowed a greater Lamb, Jesus Christ, whose sacrifice delivers all who believe. The crossing of the Red Sea reminds us that God makes a way where there is none. The wilderness teaches us that freedom is not the absence of struggle, but the presence of God. So what is your Egypt? What chains are you clinging to out of fear? The God of the Exodus is still calling. He's still splitting seas, still guiding with fire and cloud, and still shaping people for his glory. Will you trust him to lead you into freedom?